প্রফেসর আনিসুজ্জামান আমার মনে হয় সেই বাংলাদেশ অর্জন করতে আমাদের কাজ
Here to present bouquets of flowers to Professor Anisuzzaman and Dr. Anthems of Bangladesh and India.
Secretaries, honorable advisors, honorable ministers, members of parliament, distinguished political personalities, editors, business persons, intellectuals, and cultural personalities, Professor Anisuzzaman, Mrs. Anisuzzaman, Dr. Syed Manzoor Islam, and ladies and gentlemen. It gives me great pleasure in welcoming you all tonight. This is a very special function. Today, on behalf of the Government of India, I wish to extend, in the presence of this very august gathering in Dhaka, our heartiest felicitations and congratulations to Professor Anisuzzaman for the conferment of the Padma Bhushan on him. The award was announced on the eve of India's Republic Day in January this year and was formally conferred on Professor Anisuzzaman by the President of India, Shri Pranab Mukherjee, at an investiture ceremony in the Rashtrapati Bhavan in New Delhi on 31st March 2014. Professor Anisuzzaman has been conferred with the Padma Bhushan in recognition of distinguished service of a high order in the field of literature and education. His citation notes that Professor Anisuzzaman taught Bengali literature at the universities of Dhaka and Chittagong for several decades, and his researches have opened new vistas into the history of Bengali literature and society. The Padma Awards were instituted by the Government of India in 1954 to honor work of distinction and exceptional achievement. The awards are open to all persons without distinction of race, occupation, position, or gender. There have traditionally been only a few foreign recipients of the award. Out of the 127 recipients of all Padma Awards this year, 7 were conferred in the Foreigners, NRI, and PIO categories. The conferment of the Padma Bhushan on Professor Anisuzzaman is recognition not only of his personal contribution, but also a tribute to the values for which he stands and the great intellectual and literary traditions for which Bangladesh has always been known. It is a well-established fact that Bangladesh has been home to the best minds of our region. Bangladesh has provided inspiration to the arts, to poetry, to music, and to painting. It is home to world pioneers in the fields of social work, non-profit activity, microfinance, and women's empowerment. Bangladesh is unique in the world for its pride and its commitment to its language and the cultural heritage which flows from it. No other country has fought for its cultural, social, and political emancipation as has Bangladesh. The sacrifices of its martyrs are remembered to this day and are a lesson for all of humanity. The conferment of an award is more than recognition of an individual's lifetime work. When a country recognizes outstanding work of citizens of another country, it is an act of honoring the values for which the country of the recipient stands for. I convey our heartiest congratulations to Professor Anisuzzaman for this well-deserved honor. I would like to convey a special word of appreciation to Mrs. Anisuzzaman for the quiet but unwavering support that she has always given to Professor Anisuzzaman, a person I have had the privilege of knowing personally for over 25 years. I am most grateful to each and every one of you for joining us in this function tonight. We owe it to Professor Anisuzzaman for bringing us together to celebrate this achievement. In conclusion, I can only say that we wish Professor Anisuzzaman continued good health, happiness, and even greater glory ahead. I thank you very much.
May I now request Dr. Syed Manzurul Islam, Professor of English, Dhaka University.
আমার শিক্ষক অধ্যাপক আনিসুজ্জামান, মিসেস আনিসুজ্জামান, মাননীয় রাষ্ট্রদূত মিস্টার পঙ্কজ শরণ এবং সুধীজন। শ্রেণীকক্ষে তাকে কখনো আমি পাইনি, আমার বিভাগ তার বিভাগ একেবারে ভিন্ন। কিন্তু শিক্ষক অর্থে যাদের আমরা বলি পথপ্রদর্শক, হাত বাড়িয়ে যারা শিক্ষার্থীদের স্পর্শ করেন, মনের দরজাগুলি খুলে দেন, চিত্তের দিগন্তটি বিস্তারিত করেন এবং অত্যন্ত সুন্দর কিছু প্রভাব রাখেন সেই শিক্ষার্থীদের জীবনের উপর।
Unwavering in his faith in the people. Not many people can sustain faith in the people in such convincing ways. And a person of profound humanity. On simple occasions when other people withdraw from the scene, fearing maybe something, I've seen him go forward and confront the situation. He has a profound understanding of cultural dynamism and cultural semantics. He has written extensively on our culture, on our democracy. He has been a guiding force. I have always described him as a guiding force to many young and not so young people. And I have just said about his sense of humor. He has a profound sense of humor. Makes you laugh with your head. He is that kind of person who is both witty and likes to deal with wit. He is modern in his pursuit of rationality, values. He values order and discipline, and he welcomes everything that is new. And he is postmodern in his self-reflexivity. He makes jokes about himself continuously. That's something that I have not seen in many people. People are afraid of criticism. You say one word of criticism and people just clam themselves and they do not communicate with you. But he is a person I have never seen unwelcoming about any criticism. In fact, he welcomes criticism. If I start criticizing him, there is nothing to criticize about him. That's one of the things. But I'm sure he will bear everything with a smile. And he always minimizes himself. He is not the one person who advertises himself. Many people in our country, in our society, here, everywhere, great self-advertisers, self-promoters, but not Professor Anisuzzaman. I have never seen him do anything in terms of self-advertisement. I hope that Professor Anisuzzaman sir lives among us for the next 100 years more. I've already told you that he has a copious memory and with so much to give to society. It would be a shame to say goodbye to him anytime soon. I would like to see him continue in his role as somebody who awakens the nation's conscience and fights against obscurantism of all sorts, of social evils of all kinds, and plays the role of a champion.
Professor Anisuzzaman to say a few words, please.
His Excellency, the High Commissioner of India, Mr. Pankaj Saran, Cabinet Ministers, Advisors, Secretaries of the Government, and distinguished ladies and gentlemen. A very good evening. First, the Government of India, and then the High Commission of India in Bangladesh. I am grateful to the one for conferring me with the Padma Bhushan. And I'm thankful to the other for arranging this function this evening. I would also like to thank all those who are participating in this function and who have graced the function by their presence. We are in the 60th year of the institution of the Padma Awards. It never crossed my mind that someday one such award will come my way. When on the night of the 25th of January, a proofreader from a national daily called me on the telephone and told me that my name was on the honors list. I replied that it could have been somebody else's. Then I got a call from an artist couple of mine who live in Shantiniketan. And then further calls from newspapers, and finally the scroll of the television. It was really a moment of tremendous joy for me. More pleasant surprises were awaiting. When the full list appeared, I realized that the Padma Bhushan Award's name started with the name of Ghulam Muhammad Sheikh, the painter, whose daughter I know well. And just after my name appeared the names of Professor Susan Rudolph and Professor Lloyd Rudolph, who are currently Professors Emeritus at the University of Chicago. Back in 1964-65, when I was a postdoctoral fellow at the University of Chicago, the Rudolphs were teaching here. And it was such a joy when we met after about half a century at the investiture held in Delhi. But this joy has been shared by many friends and relations in India and Bangladesh. The strings of receptions I have been accorded to have been amazing. So I would like to think that this award will go somewhere towards greater bond between the peoples of our two countries. Relationships have their ups and downs. So have been the relationships between India and Bangladesh. In the last few years, I think our relations improved constantly. We had hoped that some of the problems that we face would be solved by mutual agreement. That has not happened, unfortunately, but we don't despair. We believe that the representatives of the peoples of our countries will act like a statesman and resolve the problems that stand between us. It is in the interest of our peoples that we solve our problems and really pave the way for a much, much better relationship. There are also other ways of improving our relationship. The fear of the unknown and suspicion of the unknown cause a lot of harm. So if the people of the two countries can come closer and know each other, many of the suspicions will go away. easy travels could help in the matter. The ICCI is doing an excellent job of arranging exchanges in the fields of culture and education. The government of Bangladesh can do more in these fields. And in this way, I think we can build more bridges between our peoples. But I'm not here to speak about India-Bangladesh relationship. I'm here to express my gratefulness to the government of India, to the High Commission of India and Bangladesh, and to you all who have come here tonight. Please pray that I can follow Tagore's advice. He wanted each of us to strive for world citizenship and contribute to the making of a better world. Thank you all.
Pervading the horizon, sinking the past and the future. Joyous are the waves.